Scroll to the top, babe, and hit play. All right, now hit pause. Welcome to the Social Media Success Summit. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me for this training. My goal is to have you walk away from this summit with strategies and tools that will help you be successful on social media. We will be moving through a lot of information rather quickly, so I have provided a worksheet that will help you take notes. Going live. Welcome to the Social Media Success Summit. My name is Phil Gluting, and I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me for this live training. My goal is to have you walk away from this summit with strategies and tools that will help you to be successful on social media. We will be moving through a lot of information rather quickly, so I have provided you a worksheet that will help you to take notes and follow along. Additionally, a recording will be made available to everyone, which will allow you to go back and view parts that you miss. As we will be moving quickly through these topics, please silence any distractions so that you don't miss anything important. If during the presentation you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box below the video on the Summit page. I will be monitoring the chat box and will try to address your question as soon as possible. So if during the presentation, my presentation is blurry, do these things. Now this only applies if you are not on a mobile device. So the first thing to do is to look at the page you are on. Make sure you are not in full screen mode. At the bottom of the video, there is a toolbar that comes up if you hover your mouse over it. Click on the sprocket just like it is in the picture below. A menu is going to pop up. Then you're going to want to click on the words quality. Finally, click on 720p HD. In that way, you will get the highest resolution streamed to you so that all the images come across clearly and everything makes sense. So the first step is research. Now, keep in mind, the research stage is the most important because it dictates the quality of your followers and ensures that you are following your target market. There are 4 questions to ask that will get you started with the research step. We will be taking the answers to these questions to find where your target market is hanging out online. You're not limited to just these questions, as these questions are just designed to get you headed in the right direction. So the first question is, who are the authority figures, thought leaders, or big brands in your niche? Second question is, what websites do they frequently visit? The third is, what newspapers, magazines, or books does your target market read? And the fourth question is, where do they live? Now, where they live is only important for people that need to have local followers. Otherwise, the fourth question doesn't apply. So once you've created this list of people, websites, and magazines, we're going to call them influencers. We're going to take those results to Twitter in order to find their Twitter handle and for additional research. So while you're researching, do keep in mind that you want to make sure the influencer has between 20,000 and 500,000 followers. Also, you want to take a look at their followers to get a better idea of who follows their account. What you're looking for is to make sure that their account is not full of spam and porn, and also that they have your target market following them. So if you're struggling to come up with your list, when you do go to Twitter, click the follow button on an influencer and see the recommended accounts that are shown. Repeat for each account shown. If this is confusing, during the first demo, we'll be showing you exactly what I mean. Additionally, you can use socialbro.com or manageflitter.com to search for keywords to locate influencer accounts. I won't be going over this in this training. However, I just wanted to let you know that it is available. So write down each influencer's Twitter handle on the worksheet. Once you finish getting a list of 8 to 10 influencers that have a decent following, it is time to head over to crowdfireapp.com. But before we do, I'm going to show you a demo on how to properly research on Twitter. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, of course, is to log into your Twitter account. And then what you're going to want to do next is take the first name on the list that you came up with and put it in this search bar at the top of the page. Now, for this training, I'm going to be using people from the health niche in order to grow my account. So the first person that I have on my list is Whole Foods. So I go ahead and type in Whole Foods on the search bar. It's going to give you a bunch of accounts as to what it thinks you're trying to find, and then go through these accounts and look at them to find the right one. Most of the time you can tell it's the right one by seeing this blue check mark. So this is the correct account. And the next thing that you want to look at is the amount of followers. Now they have 4.82 million followers, which is far outside of what I recommend. The amount of followers that I recommend them having is between 20,000 and 500,000. Now you could go up to 1 million or 1.5 million, however much larger than that, they really seem to attract a lot of undesirable accounts. And you don't want those people following you. So this influencer would not be a good account. I can further show you that by taking a look at their followers. And there's a lot of foreigners and a lot of egg accounts. When I say egg account, this is an egg account, means that they haven't taken the time to fill out the profile image and they're really an undesirable account. So this one would probably not be a good account to pull from. So then you go to the next person on your list. For me, it's Trader Joe's list. Now that I found it, I click on it and I look at their followers, and their followers are within the 20,000 to 500,000 or 1 million that I like to keep the influencers at. So this is looking at a good account. Next, I go under their followers and I take a look to see that, yep, a lot of people on the account look really good. And so this is one that I would then write down on the worksheet as I'd write down their handle here. This is called their handle, and this is what you need in order to start following their followers for later on in the presentation. So you just grab this part right here, the Trader Joe's list, and then write that down, and then you move on to the next one. Now, what I had mentioned earlier about you struggling is doing this. I'm on the desktop version of Twitter, and then what I do is I go and I click to follow by clicking this. It was white, now it's blue. And what it's going to do is it's going to give me suggestions of similar accounts of Trader Joe's lists. So go ahead and read them. You can right click on them to open it up in a new window. And then you can investigate, yep, they have a good amount of followers. They seem to have a decent type of followers following them. So this would be a good one if this matched the type of influencer that I was looking for. It doesn't, because it's more of this protein stuff, and I wanted to go natural. However, this Wegmans Food Markets looks like a good one, and I opened that up in a new window by right-clicking, and they have a good amount of followers. And I'm going to go through, and it looks okay. A lot of eggs. Maybe this wouldn't be the best one either. So as you can tell, you really need to go through each one on your list to find good influencers to pull from and to make sure that they have good people following them. The next person on my list is Organic Consumers. They have a good amount of followers here. And looking at their recent followers, it looks good. A lot of health-based stuff. And then go ahead and hit the follow button. And it brought back 3 really good ones, 3 really good influencer accounts that I would further look into in order to figure out if they would be a good account to pull from. Again, I'm going to copy their Twitter handle, which is @organicconsumer, and I'm going to save that on my list so that I can follow them, follow their followers later on in the presentation. Continue running through your list. The next one on my list is Non-GMO Project. Be another good one. I'd go and look at the followers by clicking on this followers tab here. And then I would go to the next one. ENC Live Well, again, looking good. I look at the followers and continue on down to verify that each person on the list turns out to be a good influencer to pull from. Are there any questions about the research aspect? Doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'll continue with the presentation. With the exception of the first answer, all the rest of them ended up being really good profiles to pull from. So now that I have the list of the Twitter handles, I'm going to take those into crowdfireapp.com and I'll show you what to do with them there. So the next step is to do the actual following. The crowdfireapp.com app is used to follow and unfollow targeted followers. If you have less than 5K followers, I recommend that you only follow up to 450 people per day. If you have more than 5,000 followers, I recommend that you follow up to 1,000 people per day. Now, if you're following up to 1,000 followers per day, make sure to give yourself 24 hours before following more people. Twitter has a limit that is on every single account that says that you can only follow 1,000 people on Twitter for every 24-hour period. So in order to make sense of that, you really need to keep track of when you follow each day. So for instance, if you follow people tomorrow at 9 a.m., you'll need to follow people the following day after 9 a.m. It is okay to start following at 10 a.m. the following day after that if you followed at 9 a.m. the previous day. Again, this only applies if you're following up to 1,000 people each day. Another thing you can use Crowdfire app for is unfollowing people. And I recommend that you unfollow between 200 to 500 people each day based on how many people are not currently following you back. Additionally, you can unfollow those that unfollowed you and those that are inactive. You want to repeat this daily. What I do is follow people Monday through Saturday and then take Sunday off. What this does is it allows the account, my Twitter account, to reset in case I get behind throughout the week. So that on Monday, I can start at the earliest time possible and get that out of the way. An auto clicker is going to be your best friend when it comes to having to click the mouse over and over again. It's going to save you tons of time and prevent soreness in your hand. The cost of the auto clicker by Mergi.com is only $5. You would find this product at Mergi.com and it walks you through how to purchase it and download the software. As I mentioned, it will click thousands of times faster than your finger. So this is what I recommend the settings be for the auto clicker. You want to have a delay of 1 second and the max number of clicks to be 100. Now make sure to click on the app every time it gets finished clicking. Here's some PC versions of the auto clicker as I'm using a Mac and will be demoing the Mac version. You can see on this screenshot here, over here is where you put in the number of clicks. Over here is where you put in the time. So you would put 1 second in this box right here. And then over here where the L is, that's where you click in order to set the location for where the auto clicker is going to go. If you're on a PC, again, this is for a PC only. You're going to click on the L, and then it's going to open up this window right here. So the auto clicker is specifically to click the button in order to follow and unfollow people. As I had mentioned in the previous slide, you're going to need to click a button between 450 or 1,000 times. Now that's going to take a lot of time and also cause some soreness to your finger. Now it's not required, and I used to do this by hand all the time, but I highly recommend that you use the auto clicker as it will save you both time and soreness in your finger. Does that make sense? Cool. So the PC version, you're going to go click on this L here, and it's going to open up a new screen. This is the new screen. If it doesn't make sense during the demo, it should make sense as I'll show you how to use it in action. The screen gets opened up over here on the left, and then what you're going to want to do is pick the location. Once you hit pick the location, some coordinates are going to come up, and then you're going to move your mouse to the location where you want it to go. You're going to click. It's going to set the coordinates in this box for you automatically. And then finally, you're going to hit OK. It'll close the screen and it will save the coordinates. Then the last thing you need to do is click the Start Clicking button. And then it'll start clicking. So with that, I'm going to show you a demo on the auto clicker and crowdfireapp.com. So this is crowdfireapp.com. What you need to do beforehand is set up your account by registering and then confirming your email address. And then the last thing to do is to hook up your Twitter account here. Once you've signed in and created everything, you want to come to the pricing at the bottom and do the $9.99 version. What this is going to do is allow you unlimited amounts of follows and unfollows. Also, you can add a second account. And it hides previously followed users so that it's a really seamless experience. So back here at crowdfireapp.com, I've already synced my account, and so I'm going to select that. And I'm going to run through just these different tabs that you see here on the left. The first one is non-followers. So in order to unfollow your people that are not following you back, you're just going to click this big red button here, and it's going to unfollow people. You can see up here, it tells you how many people that you've unfollowed for the day, and that number continues to grow as you unfollow more people. You're always going to want to make sure that the oldest first is chosen. Now, as you can see, I'm clicking with my finger, and I could continue to do this all the way up to 500, or what I could do is bring up my auto clicker and have it click for me. This is the Mac version of the auto clicker, and as you can see, I've put in the maximum number of clicks to be 100 each time, and then the cycle between clicks is set for 1 second. Now with the Mac version, what you need to do is set a keystroke, which simply means you push this key sequence, which happens to be Option Command S, each time in order to start or stop the clicking. You want to make sure that it's set for left click. And with that, it's all set to go. You can move this up to half a second by typing in milliseconds, or you can keep it right at the 1 second. So we got everything situated here, and now we're going to have it auto click for us. So I'm going to do the key sequence, and as you can see, I'm not touching it at all, and it's clicking for me. So what it'll do is it'll run through 100 clicks, And then what you can do is walk away from your computer. You certainly don't have to watch it. Just when you come back to your computer, you're going to want to make sure to click on the icon of the auto clicker at the bottom of your screen, which I'll show you right now. So I'm going to stop the auto clicker from clicking by pressing the keystroke again. And now I can move my mouse around and not have it be clicking all over the place. And I'm going to open up the auto clicker again. As I mentioned, after it gets finished with running through the number of clicks, you'll want to open up the auto clicker by clicking on the icon, and that way it stays working efficiently and doesn't go crazy. Does that explanation of using the auto clicker make more sense? Excellent. Perfect. So on this tab on the left, the first one is non-followers, and this is the tab that you want to unfollow between 200 and 500 people each day. The next tab that you want to look at are people that recently unfollowed you. So these people unfollowed you for whatever reason, and if you're still following them, you really don't want to be following them anymore. So again, we're under the recent unfollowers tab, and here are some red buttons that I can push. You really don't need the auto clicker for this section as it is hit and miss. And so you just go ahead and unfollow your recent unfollowers, and then you can move on to the next section, which is the inactive following tab. You can see again that it's under oldest first, and go ahead and just click on the red button and it will unfollow inactive people that you are following. This is just one of the ways to clean up your account in order to maximize the amount of growth that you see. So now that we've taken care of all the unfollowing, let's talk about how you actually grow your account with targeted followers. So you're going to want to go under the Copy Followers tab on the left side over here. And then it opens up a screen on the right like this. Next, you want to use the first name on your Twitter username list. And in my instance, it's going to be Trader Joe's List. And the last thing you want to do is just hit enter. So what it's going to do now is it's going to go and pull all the followers of the influencer that we have researched. Now the next thing you have to do is just hit the green button. Much like with the red button, you can either click every single time, or you can pull up the auto clicker here and make sure that everything's set. This time I'm going to go 500 milliseconds. And then here's the key sequence. I'm just going to hover over the spot where I want it to start clicking, and I'm going to press the keystroke. And so it's going to it's going to click for me a little bit faster so that it should speed things up. Now, you can, of course, sit here and watch it, or you can come back to it and go do something else while it is clicking. Maybe it takes a couple minutes to 4 minutes to run through all the clicks. And it looks like, yep, it's done clicking. So at this point, if I wanted to continue to follow more people, I would go and click on the icon, which is the same for PC or Mac. Make sure everything is correct, and then I would just go click off the screen back to where I want it to click and hit the key sequence. Or if you're using a PC, you would just hit start clicking, as you've already set up the location of where you want it to be clicking, which I covered in the previous slides. So I'm not going to bore you with watching me follow more people, so we're just going to move on to the next tab. The next tab is the keyword following. Now, in this example, I have the keyword entrepreneur, and you can use whatever keyword you want. You could use health or Apple, name brand, whatever the type of people would be tweeting about. You would use that keyword in order to find those people. So in the example, to stay consistent with what's been shared so far, I would type in health or organic food. And I would go out and it would find everyone who has been tweeting about organic food. Now you can set a filter of a specific location, such as London. And then what that would do is only find people that are in London that are searching for organic food. Pardon me, that are tweeting words about organic food. And then what you would do, as I have mentioned before, is in order to follow these people, you just push the big green button. And of course, you can use the auto clicker to follow people as well. And then you just watch the number at the top here. And then it will reset close to every 24 hours, so that you can make sure that it is accurate as to how many people you followed for that particular day. All right. So the whitelist, blacklist, that's just, you can ignore that. Automate is the last one. And I don't really recommend using this automate feature, as at the end of the presentation, I'm going to go over a better tool to use for automating the direct message. Any questions? Nope, doesn't look like there's any questions. So Twitter chats, the benefit is that they allow you to engage with people that are interested in a specific topic, and you can get a lot of good information about a certain topic, as well as find targeted new followers to engage with. Here are the 3 websites, and the first 2 are in order to find Twitter chats that are centered around a certain topic, and then what you want to do is engage with those. Also, the third website is a tool in order to interact during a tweet chat, as well as to monitor the actual tweet chat, which is all using a certain hashtag. Last thing I like to mention is that well-known Twitter accounts will have a weekly Twitter chat. In order to find what it's called, explore their account or ask them about it. So here's some strategy around the chats. If you're an expert on someone else's chat, answer questions, but be respectful. You can create your own Twitter chat and then publish your Twitter chat on the websites mentioned in the previous slide. Last, you can pick a Twitter chat to watch in order to find engaged people that you would want to follow around a certain topic. The fourth step is to post high quality content. The tool that you want to use to post this high quality content is bufferapp.com. You want to sign up for an account, then confirm your email address. Last, attach all the different accounts that you want to post to, whether it's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Pinterest. Now, UpContent is the tool that I recommend using to find articles easily. Certainly, you don't have to just use UpContent. You can find articles anywhere on the internet and use bufferapp.com to post those. So with UpContent, you want to sign up for an account, confirm your email address. Next, you want to choose the keyword that you are wanting to have content about. And what UpContent will do is fill your feed with content that you can choose to post to your account. And once you find content that you want to post, click the arrow button, the 3 arrow button, and it will open up a new window, which will be in conjunction with Buffer. And in that window, you can add hashtags, but more importantly, if you're posting to Facebook, you'll need to copy the description from Twitter and post it into the Facebook screen. Finally, once you have the tweet or the post looking how you want it, you'll need to schedule or send post to be posted. The fifth step is sending messages. So there are several different messages. Well, there's only 2 formats of messages. The one on the left is an @mention example, and that includes their Twitter handle. And the format on the right is a direct message example, which is sent to them privately and doesn't include their @mention handle. So there are lots of different messages that you can send to your new followers in order to move them from just being a number. I'll be going over several examples of different messages that I have found to work well when I'm trying to engage a new follower and to get them to engage back. So the first type of message is a question. And an example of this type of message would be, how often do you shop online? Which would be sent to the new follower. You can send a thought-provoking type of message. And an example of that would be 90% of online marketers are not effectively communicating with their audience. You can send them a sales message or coupon offer. And an example of that is, take a look at this amazing software, and then you include the link. Probably the least effective type of message is a general greeting. And an example of this would be, thank you for being part of my Twitter community. Another message type is tip. And an example of that is, use the tool Hootsuite to manage posting in advance. You can send them a resource list type of message. And an example of that would be to check out this blog post for tips on community engagement. And finally, you can send them an offer, the free estimate or discovery call type of message in order for them to book a discovery call or just to get them on the phone. And this would be sending them to a landing page outside of Twitter. Now, the purpose of these messages are either to take someone off of Twitter and place them on your email list, or to get them chatting with you about their business or how you can help them. So now I'm going to be going over the thought process of how to decide first what types of messages you should be sending, and then what format you should be sending them in. So the first thing is to ask yourself, do you have time to respond? If the answer is yes, then these are the types of messages that you should be sending: questions, general greetings, insightful, or tip. If you don't have time to respond, these are the types of messages that you should be sending. Basically, all of them are taking them off of Twitter and putting the traffic on your website or a landing page so that you can have an auto-responder series follow-up, or you have their name and email that you can follow up with them at a later time. So now we need to decide which format you want to use to send the message. Are you going to use the @mention or direct message? Here are pros and cons for both message formats. So the pros of using an @mention is that it gets more people's attention by a lot. And because it gets their attention, there's a higher rate of responses. And it's really easy to respond back and to keep track of everybody. The cons are that people may say you are spamming, and people may unfollow you because they think that you're spamming them. The pros of using a direct message is that it's discreet and no one else can see that you're sending messages to other people. And the cons is that not everyone checks their direct messages. And it's a lot harder to track people that respond to you because so many direct messages get sent out. So the bottom line is, don't ask questions that elicit a response in direct messages, as it will be very difficult to hunt down the people that respond. When setting up the @mentions, try to have 4 to 6 different variations so that it looks less spammy. Test, test, test. Keep trying new messages every month or every other week to see what is best received by your new followers. Adding value from the start of the connection will help them to trust you and be more comfortable purchasing from you. So you may be asking the question, all right, how do I set up these messages to go out on my Twitter account automatically? Well, the answer is to use automation tools. Now, here are 2 different automation tools, and you only need to use one tool below. Now, unfollowers.com is relatively inexpensive, and it allows you to send both @mentions and direct messages. Now, socialoomph.com only allows you to share direct messages. However, it's very, very inexpensive. So if you're on a very tight budget, I would recommend going with socialoomph.com. And then as you increase your budget, moving over to unfollowers.com so that you can send @mentions. And time for the demo to talk to you about automation tools. This is the dashboard of, it's now called Status Brew, but it's the same exact thing as unfollowers.com. They just rebranded. And I've already signed up and added some accounts here, but I'll show you how to add your own account. So this is the one that I've been using for the demo. There it goes. This is the screen, and there's lots of stuff that I'm not going to go over right now that you can see on this left-hand side. You can use it to grow your account. However, it's not as effective as and simple as crowdfireapp.com. The thing that we're going to be talking about is under the automate feature, and then you want to go down to rules, and then go ahead and set the rule name. Obviously, I'm just going to call it test rule, but you would set it something that you would be able to remember. You want to have the event to be follows me. I recommend are selecting the language as English and English UK. I deal with business people, so I always have has profile URL on. Everyone needs to have has profile image, and that they are a public profile and not a protected profile. These other things you can play around with. However, I don't really deal much with them. Another thing that you want to have is set the last tweeted bar to 7 days or 15 days. And so you're only sending out messages to active people. Then you hit next step. As I said, this is unfollowers, so you can send both a direct message or an @ mention. For sake of time, I'm just going to show you an @ mention. So you put in the holder Twitter handle, and that is required. It says it right here. The next thing I like to do is include the first name. So we go up here, make sure that you add a space, and then you can paste it. Then what I do is I put a comma, and what I'm going to choose is sending them to a landing page. So I'm going to say, check out these awesome health tips and then we're going to make it up essentialoils25.com. This is my first variation. So I'm going to click add more. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it above so that I can create 4 to 6 different variations. And when I create variations, sometimes I just take words out. Sometimes I add words. Sometimes I add brackets. Sometimes I capitalize things, like I can do this. And for another variation, check out these 5 unique. So you get the idea. You just continue to add more variations till you get to the 4 to 6. You take a look at. Now keep in mind, this number here at the bottom is going to tell you how many characters you have left. Now you're only allowed to have relatively 110, 120 characters. And this will tell you down here how many you have left. You can click above it to trash it. Now you want to always make sure that it's set to mention 1 user per tweet. And then you can set this to 15 or 20. That really doesn't matter. Additionally, you can add these people to a list. It could be a vanity list like awesome business people. And then what it does is it just gets people to notice that you added them to a list, and they're more likely to interact with you. I am not going to go over how to create a list on this training, but I can in the future. The final step is to apply this rule. And there you go. You have the test rule. The event is follow. Now, if you want to edit it, click on edit. If you want to disable it, you can disable it and it'll stop sending it out, or you can delete it. If you want to create a new rule, click create a new rule, so on and so forth. Excellent. Let's look at socialoomph.com. Now, socialoomph.com is $2.49 per month or something very close to that. You want to click here to sign up and then enter all your information there. I'm already signed in here. Once you've signed in, once you signed up, you want to click networks and then connect a social account. Asking me to log in. There it goes. All right, so you click, once you're logged in, you click on networks and then connect a social account, authorize access, and then type in your username and password. It's going to add it to your account. Then you want to click on monitoring, follow back in auto DM statistics. Then click on this tab, follow back and auto welcome. You're only going to have one. So you go to configure, click send an auto DM. Now you can see there's a maximum of 10,000 characters. And so you could use all 10,000 of those characters. So the type of message that you would send is, thank you for connecting with me on Twitter for some awesome health tips. Please visit essentialoils25.com. I only used 107 characters, but I could get really creative and have a lot more information in this direct message. The last thing you want to do is just hit save, and you are all set with setting up the automation tools. Again, you only need to use one of them. Don't use both of them because then it's going to look weird. Only use one of them. Are there any questions about what I've covered so far? If not, I will move on to the Instagram marketing. All right, doesn't look like it. Instagram marketing. So basically what you want to do for Instagram is learn how to grow your account, how to post high quality images, and how to get people to visit your website. So Instagram marketing is very similar to Twitter marketing. Here are the 3 tools that we're going to be covering: Instagress.com, Pinterest.com, and Grom.co. The strategy is to follow your target market, then to post relevant and high impact posts, and finally to get them to engage with your posts and click your profile link. So you want to make sure your profile description is fully filled out and includes a link to your website on Instagram. So the first step is to identify your target market. And what you're going to do is use the list from the Twitter marketing exercise to look on Instagram for the correct handle. So up to this point, you've already done the research work and have found the names of influencers that you would want to use on Twitter. Now we're going to use those same names for Instagram. So take the names that you have for Twitter and write down on the Instagram worksheet. I'm going to be talking to you about using Instagress.com. The objective is to use Instagress to grow your account with high quality followers. So the first thing you want to do is sign up for a new account at Instagress.com and confirm your email address. Once you've signed up, you'll want to add your Instagram account to your account. This screenshot is the welcome screen that you get when you sign up, and what you want to do is click on this red box to add your account. Once you have your account added, you are going to want to set up the settings to be similar to the image below. Under activity speed, it's going to be slow, and then you can increase it to normal after the first week. Under media source, have it set to tags. Under media age, always have it on newest. Under media type, you can select any. And then have the minimum likes filter as well as the max likes filter set at 0 to 100. Now, optionally, you can change the media source go ahead and jot things down on the back. Again, this recording will be made available for everyone, and I will include the worksheet on the replay so that you can follow along with it there. So once you've set the settings, the main settings, that is, on to look like the image here, you want to scroll up to the followers area. And this is really easy to follow once you jump on Instagress.com. Watch this video and it'll be really easy to follow. So again, scroll up to the followers area, and then you want to set the settings to have it look like the image below. Have the follow source be followers of users. Have the follow cycle be set at 1,000, and don't follow the same users. Also, don't follow private users. Once you've done that, scroll down to the unfollow section and make sure it is the same as this image below. The unfollow source is all, the unfollow cycle is 1,000, and the unfollow who don't follow me is checked. Scroll down to the username section. Click the button Add. Type in the username from your worksheet. Click Search. Then choose the correct Instagram handle. Here is the screenshot of typing in GNC LiveWell. As you can see, the correct handle for GNC LiveWell is this one in the top left-hand corner. Now it's going to bring up several different results every time you do a search, and you just need to click on the check box in order to add the correct handle to your account. After you've gotten that done, scroll up to the very top, turn on the 3 sliders as you see in the picture below. You want to turn on the likes here, the follows, and the unfollows. Now this is, as you can see, is already running because it's on my account, but for your account, this would say start right here. Now you're ready to hit the red button that says start. So in conclusion, you use Instagress.com in order to like photos, follow and unfollow users, which will build your Instagram account. Now, typically what I see for growth on Instagram is about anywhere from 10 to 50 new followers each day of the week. So keep in mind that no account can follow more than 7,500 users on Instagram, at which point you need to uncheck this box, which says unfollow who don't follow me. And this was in the unfollow section that I covered on the previous slides. And then the way that Instagress.com works is you don't pay a monthly fee. You just purchase time in order to keep your account active. So continue purchasing time to keep your account active. And what this will do is run in the background so you don't have to leave the window open or monitor it. The objective of Pinterest is to find high quality images that you can use on Instagram, on your Instagram account. So make sure to use, the first step is to use the search bar at the top to type in the keyword of the images you're wanting to find. Here in the example, I've typed in health and wellness. Next, select the image that you are wanting to post on Instagram by left clicking on the image. Keep in mind that you will not want to find long images as it won't work as well on Instagram. Try to find images in the shape of a square, not a long rectangle. So once you left click on the image, a new window should pop up, and what you want to do is right click on the image and choose Save Image As. Now save the image into a folder that you will remember and be able to easily find in the future. Continue choosing images and saving images to your folder until you have 6 to 12 images saved on your desktop. Grum.co is going to be used to easily schedule content to your Instagram account from your desktop. Now, if you didn't use a program like Grum.co, you would have to daily post using your mobile phone. That would mean that you would have to take the images off your desktop, send them to your phone, and then use your phone to schedule everything. Basically, Grum.co eliminates that. It makes it very easy and simplified to the point where you can schedule out content weeks and months at a time. What you want to do is sign up for an account by entering your email address. And then you want to add your Instagram account by entering your login details. Next, verify your account by following the on-screen directions. And if after hitting OK, you can't proceed, go back to your account and verify it again until you get through. Once you've registered and created your account and added your account, you're going to want to click the big plus button on the left side to add a new post to your Instagram account. Next, you want to find the folder where you saved all your images, select the first image in the folder, and double click it. Additionally, you can add any image that you would like. You just need to find the location and double click it. Now you will want to add the description to your photo. Additionally, you're going to want to use hashtags to get more eyes on your update on Instagram. Now I'm going to talk to you about finding hashtags to use. First thing you want to do is open Instagram on your phone. You are already logged into Instagram, and this is the screen that you would see. Click the magnifying glass on the bottom, and you can see that the arrow is pointing to the box around the magnifying glass. Next, you want to click on the bar at the top of the page and start typing in a keyword. I have typed in the word health. Next, you want to click the tab tags, which the arrow is pointing to. It's going to be at the top of towards the top of your phone. And then you should now see tons of examples of popular hashtags that you can use which contain your keyword. Continue scrolling down for more examples. In these two examples, you can see that on the left there starts with using the hashtag health. The next one is healthy. And then right below there, it tells you how many posts contain that hashtag so that you know how popular that particular hashtag is. So what you want to do is write down 5 to 10 hashtags to use and write them down on the worksheet in the future. Try using these hashtags in the posts that make the most sense to use them on. Next, go back into grum.co, and once you have your hashtags, you're going to want to create your post and then schedule it for a later time or send it out now. Always give attribution to the creator of the image by including the following: via the website or account where you found the image. So you can see here's in the screenshot in the bottom left is a screenshot of True Vibe Organics, and the arrow is pointing to the via fullofbeans.us, and here they gave attribution to the original content creators, and in your instance it would be giving credit to the people that created the image. On the right is the screenshot from grum.co, and you can see that I've included my caption. I've also included several hashtags, and at the very bottom of the screen you will see where you can schedule it. And this is an old screenshot, but it was scheduled for a couple days in advance at 6:32 p.m. on 3/24. So if you want to schedule it out like you're doing a whole week's worth of content at once, you would just set the correct time and date, and then you would hit save, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So continue scheduling content until you have gone through all of your images. Now this could be enough content for just a couple days, or it could be content for an entire month. Finding images and scheduling the images should be a weekly task or monthly, and I recommend scheduling at least 1 image a day. You can, of course, schedule up to 4 images a day. Just make sure to space them out with plenty of time in between the posts. You can use the following types of posts for different ideas on, different types of content that you would want to post on your Instagram account. Humor posts, informative posts, factual, instructive, posts about your products or services offered, and the last one is inspirational. Additionally, you can use canva.com to create your own graphics to be used on Instagram. I recommend using pixabay.com to find no attribution required images as the background, or use one of the backgrounds offered by canva.com. Then you can place your quote, statement, fact, information, etc. as a text overlay on top of the background. It should end up looking very similar to the images you would find on Pinterest. And with that ends the presentation on both Twitter and Instagram. Are there any questions that you guys have for either Twitter or Instagram? Well, it doesn't look like there's any questions. Hopefully that content that I covered made sense to you, and I will be providing a recording for everybody. The replay will allow you to walk yourself through each one of the steps that I covered in detail and answer most of the questions that you have. I will also be including the worksheet for Instagram that didn't make it into your hands, and that way you can follow along with that as well. I should have the replay up and ready within the next 48 to 72 hours. Hopefully I'll get it up sooner, depending on technology and everything like that. So next week we'll be covering Facebook ads and LinkedIn. I'll be going over how to set up Facebook, a Facebook ad, some optimization things, how to find your audience, all this different things that I've used in the past to have well-converting ads. And then I'll be going over strategies that I use today for LinkedIn to really get targeted leads coming into my LinkedIn inbox. So thank you again, everyone, for joining me, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day.